Good morning, good evening, and good day. Thank you so much for watching Attack Power Gaming. Today we're hopping into our How to Play the Divisions with our Division Tech on the 28th Jager. If you enjoy this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Let's dive right in. So here we are with my 28th Jager deck. I put it in Maverick. It is definitely an aggressive slanted deck, at least in my opinion. I think it really does well playing more aggressively, and I don't think it really has the tools to go really long. Strengths of this division are, of course, the infantry. The Jager infantry are very, very strong. They have a nice variety to them, and they're basically just upgunned versions of a lot of the standard Axis infantry, just better versions of them. We have a pretty good Recon tab as well. You get a great air tab, very strong air tab. You need to utilize it quite heavily to win. Weaknesses definitely being the AA tab. The AT tab is a little bit lacking, doesn't have a lot of strong weapons. The artillery tab is limited in its options. It has a lot of slots, but it doesn't have a lot of options. The support tab actually is pretty solid as well. I apologize, forgot that. Support tab does an alright job. Tank is very average. It's all one type of unit, but that unit does fine. So let's dive in here with our first tab, as we always do, the infantry tab. So we have all unique infantry in this division, other than the Erzatstruppen. We are not taking them because we need to win early, and I don't really have time to be deploying crappy infantry that are just going to die. I'm not really looking to hold ground. I'm looking to attack everywhere. So we are looking at their mainstay unit, the Jager. So the actual Jager unit. This unit has 7 MP40s, 2 G43s, an MG42, and a Panzerfaust. 10-man. Only 20 points, has a great availability curve of 12, 8, and 4 in A, and you get 24, 16, and 8, and then the big 32, 21, so on and so forth. These guys are okay. I don't love them. They fall into the same category of these infantry who can fight close but still fight far and don't do either as well because of that. This one is definitely much more like close range oriented. The problem is they often get stuck using their MG42 at some ridiculously long range, and they're firing like essentially one gun, which makes their damage output quite bad. So you really need to make sure these guys stay in the woods and stuff. It is nice though that they have a Panzerfaust. They're only 20 points. You can really have them everywhere. They are solid at close range. They're not great, but they're solid. They'll do the job. And again, only being 20 points means you can put these all over the place. So they do get the job done. Then we have Jager Pioneers. Jager Pioneers are very, very good. We have an MP40, 8 G43s, an MG42, and of course our grenade. These guys get the job done. They get that job done well. This is definitely actually a longer range unit for the most part. Outside of the grenade, the G43s and the MG42 makes this pretty well suited for mid-range fights. So this guy does actually work quite well at range and close range because of course the grenade. And then the main unit of your division outside of the Jaegers is the Sturmjager. 7 MP44s, 2 G43s, MG42, and the anti-tank grenade this time instead of the Panzerfaust. Basically, if you look, it's the same as the Jager, except that it has MP44s and the grenade instead of the Panzerfaust and the MP40s. Very solid unit. So basically, it does get a little bit more mid-rangey because of the MP44s. It's still pretty close range, truth be told. Your MP44s aren't reaching out to rifle range, but 200 extra meters is a big deal. You know, these guys will dominate for light forest fights. They do okay in regular forest fights because MP44s are still all right at close range. They're not as good as MP40s, of course, but they do okay. And it's nice that they have some AT. The AT is obviously significantly worse. Only has a 100-meter range instead of the 120-meter range, and lower accuracy. With the, with your veterancy, it's still pretty high, but it doesn't fire as fast either. So all around, the AT is weaker as well. These guys are very strong though. 30 points. They're not cheap, but they do get the job done. 10-man squads. And that's it. I mean, it's basically just a mix of those. And then, of course, some Jägerführers. I like these because they have 7 men and they have a grenade. So I like them better than the Jägerführers, which die a little bit easier. Only 5 points more for more survivability. So we're going card of Jaegers, a card of Jager Pioneers, and 2 cards of Sturmjagers in a card of Jaegers in B, a card of Sturmjagers, and a card of Jager Pioneers in B. Did I say that? Sorry, A, and then B, and then finally a card of upvetted Sturmjagers in C, because you cannot bring them in lower. I'm not going to bring in Jaegers because it's just not going to do it. And truthfully, if I'm not winning with 80 infantry in Maverick, I'm going to lose anyway. Hopping up into the Recon. we have some okay options in the infantry here. We have the Jager Sharpshooter, which is a very solid sniper, you know, two-man team with a K98. Solid. And Jaeger Fusiliers are actually quite good. I just couldn't fit them in. They are one man weaker than a regular Jaeger squad, and they have the grenades. But if you can sneak these behind the lines and stuff, they can actually do a lot of damage. So I like them. I just couldn't fit them in this case. And it's pretty cheap. The early Recon tabs slots are quite cheap. Tank tab, all Stugs. Stugs all day. Stugs all day long. Stug 3, Stug 3, Stug 3. I'm double vetting all of them because I want them to actually kill things when I bring them in. 2 cards in A, 1 in B, 12 tanks in total. That really should do it for you. Yeah, that should do it. I mean, that's 860 points of tanks. You know, or 960, excuse me, 960 points of tanks, basically. That's almost half. I always think A and B is all the time I have for Maverick. I'm either winning by the end of that or I'm not. Support tab, very solid. Lots of options here. Jaeger Flammenwerfers are actually better than normal. They just 2 flamethrowers. Instead of a machine gun and a flamethrower, it's 2 flamethrowers. So that's neat. These guys lay it out. Jaeger MG42s, basically just slightly better MG42s, kind of. Yeah. IG-33s, always great. Love having that 2,000 meter range reach out. And then Stu-42s in B for more 2,000 range reach. Then you have your Commandant and the Opa Blitz munitions. Very good options here for support. Then we get into our AT tab, which is a little lacking. There's not a lot. You only get 1 card of Pack 40s. You do get Pack 38s, which are nice. I'm taking the Pack 184, which is a 45 mil without APCR, unfortunately. These do an okay job. Your other options are basically a ZIS 3. So you have the ZIS 3 gun, which has the infinite range on the HE, which is definitely useful. You get these Jaeger AT rifle things. Do not use these. They're bad. They only do 1 damage. Even if they hit a transport, they don't actually kill it. So do not use these. They're bad. Like, seriously. Panzer Jaegers, these are really good. I mean, they're 6 MP40 with a bazooka with a Panzerschreck. Very solid. You should take these in some way. Martyr 2s might be more useful. Maybe you're supposed to take the Martyr 2s over the Pack 184. But again, I just love these 30-point light AT guns. They have HE as well. I think they do a nice job. And the Martyr 2, to me, always underperforms. I just, for some reason, for me, it never seems to do what I need it to do. It dies too easily and always misses that first shot and seems to always get hit back. Just bad luck, I guess. The anti-air tab, there's not a lot of options. It's mostly 20 mils, so you have these 2 different kinds of 20 mils on the cars. Then you have the Flakverling, which you have to bring in 1 vetted, which sucks because it cuts down your availability to 1 in A. You do get a card of 37 mils, which is good. I mean, that is definitely good, but you only get 1. So I have it coming in B over A. I'm just bringing, and you can't even bring these in with the trucks, like with the flak trucks. So you really are limited in your AA. You have to depend on your fighters to do your job. Artillery, lots of options here. I spoke incorrectly earlier. Their artillery tab is quite good. I forgot this is the one where you get lots of options here. I'm taking the 81 mil mortar. You have these like lighter Gib H kind of, you know, artillery guns. I don't think they're worth it. They fire too slow, don't do enough damage. They are cheap though, I will say that. You do get a Nebula for 300mm. These are fantastic. Love these things. I always take them when they're available. You actually can bring in 2 cards of those, so if you really want to go all out on those, you can. You do get a card of 150mm, so if you're planning to go long, you can. You get some pretty solid off-map. I do not like the plane off-map, but it does work. It's only 85 points. The reason being it's very easy to stop this once people have AA up, and it often dies. But it is cheap. For off map, you get 120, 172mm, which is excellent. Then you get the 210 off map, 64 rounds. You get 2 ticks of this, and I'm pretty sure you get 3 charges of that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So yeah, I apologize. This is a good artillery tab overall, and it's pretty cheap across. You can go all the way to here on only 2 pointers, which is pretty good. But again, I'm not building this deck long. It's Maverick, so you know, probably some off map would probably be a good choice. I just don't have it. I'm taking the Nebelwerfer instead because I kind of consider this like off map that I can use several times. Then we have our air tab, very strong. We have Focke-Wulfs all around, some good bombers. We have the Focke-Wulf 190 A4U4 Recon plane, very fast, medium resilience, good for your recon stuff. Then I have the light bomber variant in A. I have the HS-129 Duck with the heavier, I believe this is the heavier one, right? No, this is the lighter one. So we have the really heavy one and we have the lighter one. I'm taking the lighter one because truthfully 140 millimeters of penetration is plenty. That will penetrate almost any tank in the game pretty consistently, except for your super heavy tanks. This one is obviously more for super heavy tanks, but you only get one, and this one you get two on the card. So I prefer two on the card, especially in A. Just because it's not often that you're running into the tanks that require 175 millimeters of pen, and most of the time you can just fly around the side and hit them in the side anyway. So yeah, medium, very good resilience. So these things are pretty hard to kill, but they are slow as crap. They basically like move through water in the air. It's very slow to watch them. Then a Focke-Wulf 190A8 fighter with the medium. These things are absolutely phenomenal. Love these fighters. And then this is the medium bomber variant with 8 50-kilogram bombs. This will kill most things with one bombing strike. This is a little less reliable in killing. There are the HE-111s. This is definitely an option. I just like the ground attack planes a little bit better, but these are definite options for you. The double 2,000-kilogram bomb. This will erase basically anything. So yeah, you could take that instead of maybe one of the ground attack bombers or something, but that's kind of up to you. Maybe you don't want the Recon plane. They're pretty popular right now, and it is very nice to be able to see what the opponent is doing. So that's kind of up to you. That's how I have the 28th Jager built. This is a very solid division. It has been for a long time. It got buffed way back when it was pretty bad at first, and then they kind of buffed it a couple times, and now it's pretty solid. So yeah, a lot of ways to build this. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe, and have a fantastic day.